Yeah, okay, nice, nice, nice. So let me share my screen. Can you see my screen?
It's coming up. It's coming up.
All right. So can you see my screen now? Okay. So I don't know if um I should use the normal VS Code. I should use Code Sandbox. I don't know which one is more better and more compatible. So I think we're going with VS Code. Yeah, that's where the main thing now. So let me go to the React doc. That's what we'll be using for this. Let me get rid of this. That's what we'll be using for this section. React documentation. In fact, documentation is very important, yeah, especially in the Web3 space because there are not many resources out there, so you have to read documentation. So please, can you hear me, or am I speaking to myself?
We can hear you. I can hear you.
Nice, nice, nice. So let me go to the React doc. I have to like get rid of this. React doc dev is the official website for React. Yeah, that's where you can go and look at some things. So I'm coming. Um, I have, let me get rid of this one. Yeah. So we're going to go to learn React. So I'm going to be installing my React. Yeah. Um, where is that? Installations. So we want to start a new project. So when you scroll down, you see we have the Next.js, we have the remix, and all of that. But what we are interested in is NPS create React app, then the name of your project. I believe we all know how to start our React project. React app, we all know how to start. Let me create a new folder on my um, sorry, create a new folder. And just create a new folder called Tech. Um, let me call it Tech React. Yep. So I think we are good. So let me go to my VS Code and either drag or drop or I can use my VS Code. Any one of them is good. So I'm coming. Let me. Why is it not working? Okay, okay. Open. No, not that. It didn't work. Come here. So I'm going to be installing the going to be installing our packages we are going to be using or needing for this class. Yeah. So as time goes on, we are going to go forward to by instead of create reactor. But for now, we are going to stick with create reactor. Yeah. So what we do is npx. Okay, let me hide. So let me close this. Like it's making it slow. So we're going to go with npx create. So before I even continue, so for those of you that are in the class, can you please tell me what I can like type here if you are in the last class? So what am I supposed to do with to start with the React? For those of you in the class. Oh,
Is NPS create React app?
nice, nice, nice. npx creates React app. Then after that is what? Probably the name of your folder. So we'll be using
Yeah. Okay.
let's say hooks underscore props because that's what we're talking about today. So let's wait for it to install. So it should be.
Yes, sir. Please, can you zoom in a little bit, sir?
Oh, yeah, yeah, sorry about that. Is it okay? Huh?
It's okay.
Okay. So let's wait for it to install. So before it installs to finish, let's go to I think managing states. No, I think it should be reference. So now you can see we have the hooks, we have components, we have APIs and directive. But what we are interested in today is what hooks. I'm interested in hooks today, not any other thing. But I think before the hooks, we should start with props. Then from there we go on. So we have the use state. Use state declares the state variable that you can update directly. I think I wrote a RKMD file, yeah. So I wrote a simple documentation on it. So you can be able to like think is more easier and simpler and made it like easy and all of that. So this is what we'll be doing today. We have the look at the hooks we'll be talking about. We have the use state. We're going to do a simple counter. Then we're going to do form inputs. Then we have use effects where we're talking about APIs. Where we'll be fetching data from an API. Then we have the I gave two examples here, fetching data from API and document title. That's where the use effect comes in. You get we have the use context. We are going to create a more like a dark and light mode, a simple one, not a hard one. That's something you can if it is equal to light, show dark or light, something like that. So let me see. This still installing. That's right. So let's wait for it. I don't know why it's taking this time. It's long. So before I proceed, so with your, does anybody have any question about the last class? Like, do you have any question? Something you don't understand, or you like me to talk about it again or something? Does anybody have any question? Okay, all good. Nice, nice, nice. So still installing. That's weird. Hmm. Well, before that, let's go to the documentation and keep on observing how everything looks like. So what you state was is it declares a state variable that you can update directly. Yet you state let a component remember information like user inputs. For example, a form component can use state to store the input value, while an image gallery component can use state to store the selected image index. So we'll talk about all this. Yeah. Um, context too, is where the use context comes in, the use ref and all of that. So ah, this is taking longer than expected. Um, comment. Yeah. So give me a minute. Let's wait for it to install finish.
Okay, no problem, Mr. Martin. Before the team finishes, let me just say some. Let me just say
Yeah.
something. So to our upcoming dev. So if you're interested in working on a little project to be able to build your portfolio for the future, you can meet Mr. Bufai. He will send the links to you.
I
Do you
can't hear
get?
you.
Just as I am.
Come again.
Okay, I say to our upcoming devs. If you are interested in building your portfolio with a little project, I've given you guys the Figma files and the rest. You can meet Mr. Rufai. He will give you the links. So that, as I promised you guys during the last class. So that'll be all from my own side. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, come again. I don't know, you're skipping. I don't know why. Maybe it's network. Come again for the last one. Sorry.
Maybe it's network on your own end. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, I say I was speaking to our upcoming dev that if they are interested in building their portfolio, that I'm giving them a link to some Figma files so they can work on it
Oh,
and put in their portfolio for for future employment. So that was what I was saying.
to get with React. He's going to give you a Figma design you can work on. Yeah, I think that's nice. Thank you for that, Mr. Ebube.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah. Ah, it's like his network from my own end. I don't know. It's supposed to be done installing. Let me change location or something. I got. Yeah, nice, nice, nice. That's installed too. Um, so it doesn't think it's on its way to installing. Let me connect my Bluetooth.
Oh, this is the first time it's taking this long. I don't know why. Please, anybody's um code giving them issue, like the installation. I don't know. Anybody? So, nice. It has installed, finished. It has installed. So, when we open our props folder, so you can see what they are telling us to do now. They are saying we suggest that you begin by typing cd, which is what we are going to do. Cd hooks props. Now we are inside that folder. Now we are going to start with npm start. Yeah, npm start. Let's wait for it. So before it finishes, let's go to our source. So we don't need this setup jest. We don't need that. We don't need this we don't need this objects. We don't need report vitals or JS. We don't need this logo. Yeah, we don't need them. So I'm going to delete them because we don't need them. So we just delete them. So delete them. We don't need that. So what we're interested in now is the app.js. I don't know why this is taking long.
I think that most of them have the React app installed already on their systems because the network is very, very bad.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
most of them have the React app installed on their systems already. So if you can just continue with them,
You said
then once your own is done, you can pick on your own. I say if you can go on with one that already installed on their local machine to be cool.
okay. So All right. So the reason why it's showing errors is that I think they're using it in the index.js. So what you do is just remove it. We don't need that. Yeah. Then I think we don't need this to. Uh, so it's supposed to work now. So what I'm saying, you can't find module dot slash rec dot vitals. So logo, yeah, it's true. We still have logo in our app.js. So just remove it. Then going to remove everything here and just leave hello save. So everything is going to work now. You can see we have our hello here. So let's begin.
Yes, sir. Please still zoom in a little.
Is it okay?
It's okay. It's okay.
So I think we don't need this app.css. We don't need everything that is inside. So we're going to remove everything. To remove everything. We don't need that. So let's begin. Let's go to the React doc. We have use states. We have state hooks, which are use states, and we use reducer. So use states declares a state variable that you can update directly. Let me come again. Use state declares the state variable that you can update directly. So for example, let's go to the doc I wrote. You can see, or should I even start with React props? Yeah, let's start with React props. Yeah, sorry. Let's start with React props. So props for shorthand property are how we pass data from parent components to child component. Think of them like parameters in a function. Basic props, yeah, think of them like parameters in a function. So we have an example here. We have a parent element that is returning a child component. And if you look here, towards beside the child component. So we are passing in a prop called name, and we're giving it a value of John. We have another prop called age, and giving it the age of 25. And this is a boolean. Yeah, you're just saying if students is true, display yes. While if students is false, display no. This is the ternary operator. It's called the ternary operator with the question mark. It's more like if and else, not like the way you have it in your JavaScript. Well, this is an ternary operator. So let's start with that. So let's create a function. The function called let's see, should I child elements, child elements, or child components rather, child components. Then we have the listing. Then so if you look at what it did there, we pack in a prop. But before the prop, let's return our. We're going to return our div. Sorry, div. So now inside the div now, we want to have a t tag. We want to have a t tag. and a p tag that says name. Let's say name my name is now. After the is, we have a curly brace. It's more like it's a JSX syntax. Yeah, it's a JSX syntax. So let's impute the name here. It's just true for now. But let's just leave it as empty for now. Let's leave it empty. So we have the age. Age should be should I span? Let's just use a span here. Forgot. Let's just use a span. Yeah. And let's see. I then curly braces. You get. Then the last one is let's use some other pizza again. So let's say students. Students. Then now this is where we're going to talk about it. But before that, now, if we want to pass in props into this child component, what do we do? So before that, let's create in, let's declare the child component into this div. You can see it here, child component. And remember, component don't have closing tag. They have a closing tag, but we're not going to talk about that now. Closing tags when we're going to talk about that later. Yeah. So just the self-closing tag for now. That's what we're talking about. Components have a closing tag, but we're going to talk about that later. So what do we do here now? We want to pass in the props. Yeah. We have the name. The name. What name do we want to give it? We want to give it a name of, okay, let's say Martin. We gave it a name of Martin, and I want to give it the age prop equal to, I want to give it now. Now this age prop, someone help me. Am I putting it in a JSX syntax or putting it in a string? Maybe this putting it in a string. Someone will help me. So please, this class is meant to be like interactive. You get? Hello, can anyone hear me? Can you guys hear me? So like I asked, I said this age here, I want to add the age of 24. Am I supposed to put it in a string or am I supposed to put it in a curly braces? Which one of them? I mean, even if you fail, it's not about.
In a curly, I think in a curly braces.
Yeah. Can you please tell me why?
We are dealing with a strange. I see supposed to be in a curly braces because we are dealing with not a number, not a strange.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, correct. So we're going to put 24 here because we are dealing with a number, not a string. So then we have the is now this is going to be here. Like I say, it's going to check if there are students, it should display true. Else it should display display false. Yeah, you can see that's exactly what I wrote here. So the students is going to be true because yeah, the students. So now, what is the next thing we need to do? Because I know you guys talked about props. So this is just a recap. That's why I'm fast. So what am I supposed to do next? Or anybody? Huh?
What do you ask? I didn't get your question.
So I was asking, I want to pass in these props into my child components. What am I supposed to do now? Because I've already declared the props. Now I just have to insert it into my child components.
Okay, I think you use name from perspective of how you define it as a parameter, something like that.
Okay, so I should
So
just
you
add
call
name
name
here.
inside.
I should add name here.
Uh, I
Huh?
think I think you pass. You first of all pass a parameter at the function. I don't know, and then
So
something like props, and then you refer it as prop.name, prop.age, prop.student.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
something like that.
yeah, you're correct. So what we are supposed to do is we're going to pass in the prop here, which is also another name for property. We're going to pass in the prop there. Then yeah, now this prop is referring to all these elements that are here. You get. So another so the next thing we need to do is to have prop. If we add the dots, it's going to show all our the props. I think it's props. Uh, so sorry, hold on. No, my laptop is slow. Okay. Excuse me. So it should be props dot what name. While the second one is going to be props dot what age. Then the last one now. Now what we want to do here in this last one is what we want to do here is if it is true, I want you to show students yes. If it is false, it should show students column. I should add a column now. It should show students column no. So there's what we call ternary operator, which is more like an if and else statement. There's what we call ternary operator, which is like an if and else what statement. So if you look here, we are saying if false dot is student. Now dot is student is what is true, which means yes, this student the true student. That is, the student is true. If it is true, this question mark means if it is true, show yes. Else, this column means it's an else. That is, if this is true, show yes. Column else, which is column means else, which is no. Say no. If props of students is true, say yes. Else, say no. So I want to have props dot is student. Props dot is student. If it is true, I want to show my I want to display students. Yes. Then we have here, and we do else. Show no, not. Yes. So yeah, not. So let's go back to our browser. You can see it's going to work now. Can you see? Hello? Hello?
Yes,
Yeah.
we are with you. We are with you,
So
sir.
you can see we have my name is Martin. I am 24, and are you a student? Is yes. If we change, um, if sorry, I don't know why you say she don't say. If we were to change this to false, this is students to false, it's going to show an error. It's going to show no, sorry. It will show students column no, I am not. Can you see? Nice. So I think that's one of the things I like about props. So what is the next thing we need to talk about? You said we can also use the structuring for cleaner code. Yeah, the structure is one of the most important thing in React. You get it makes your code cleaner. Um, so let's talk about the structuring now. Yeah, so we want to talk about the structuring. Now, what it's more like instead of passing in a props, yeah, we can destructure it so that we can just pass in the name without having to add these props to it. Because if, for example, we have like 10 props in the child components in this line 5, if we have like 10 props, the props that are going to add is going to be too much. So instead of that, we add what? The structuring. Now, what is the structuring? Now watch. So instead of these props, we are going to delete these props. You can see. Then we are going to have a curly braces. Because yeah, instead of that props of name, we just want to have the name, age, and a student. So instead of the props, we are going to have the name, comma. We want to have the age, comma, and we also want to have the is student. Have these three props here. What do you guys think we need to remove, or we need to add, or we need to change here? Who can help me?
Remove the props now.
Nice, nice, nice. So we are going to remove the props. We are going to remove the props. I missed this. So when we save, you are going to see our code is going to be clean as new. Now you can see it works as expected. Yep. So I believe you guys understand everything about props by this time. We talk about there's what we call prop drilling and prop drilling. Yeah, prop drilling. So let me just look into that. Just a weekly like sharp stuff. Let me just look into that. So let me have another function. There's something I want to show you guys. Let's see prop, or let's see another component. So forgot my question mark. So we want to return what? We want to return a div or a button probably. Yeah, we want to return a button. We want to return, oh, don't mind me. Yeah. We want to return a button. So inside this box, we want to have submit or something. Yeah, we want to have submit. Now, another thing with components that I love is that what if I want to have this submit? I want to use it somewhere else. I want to use it somewhere else like 4 times, 4 to 5 times. Instead of me going there and be writing another submit, then I'll not have submit button. Instead of me having many submit button, all I need to do is just put it in the component and just bring it here. I'll just call it. And you just call another component. That is all. And everything will appear clean. So put it inside the div. Then when we go back, we're going to see my button here. Can you guys see? So instead of me having, or let's say I want to add multiple things inside the button now. I want to have or let me use low and if some. Don't know if that is working here. It's not working. So let me just want to have a boy. It is true or something. Just anything. Get. And I want to have or let's change it from a button to a div rather. Yeah, let's use a div. Let me have the pizza here. Then I'm going to put that inside there. Then I want to have a H3 that says FATEC. That says FATEC. Then I want to have the button now. I want to have a button that says click. So when I go back to my browser, it's going to update. Sorry. So you can see it here. I have I am a boy, it is true. So what if I want to use this in as many places as I want to? All I have to do is just to call this component. Maybe I just have to create a new file. Yeah, let's create a new file. I mean, it makes our work more clean. Let's create a new file called another component. And remember, we always be mindful of the letter casing. Again, we have, I mean, it's very sensitive to yeah, it's very sensitive to letter casing. What do I mean by that? We have camel case, we have snake case, we have bunch of them. We'll talk about that later. So we hit enter. So we have another file. We want to make our work more clean. So we are going to copy this. We are going to cut this rather and paste it here. Now we have our function. And don't forget the what? If you look at the app.js, we have now it's showing error. It's showing another component is not defined because you haven't defined it yet. So what do we do next now? We are going to export default. Now we're not exporting. Okay. I copied this to which is not. Let me fix that. Yeah. So I want to export it now because I don't want it to be in this file. I want to export it. I want to use it in my app.js. So I'm going to do export default of another component. Export default another component, semicolon. So with this, I think we are good. So you can see it's saying another component is defined but never used. Because if we come to our app, we haven't used it yet. Even here, yeah, we haven't imported it. So what do we do to import it? We are going to do import because we want to import this another component into this our app.js. We are going to do import another component. Even when if you type it, it's going to show you an option that leads to where you want to import from. Now we are importing from another component and it's giving me the option. So if I click it, it's going to automatically type everything for me. You get it? So I think you should follow the prompts that is showing so to avoid typos. So if we save it, it's going to still work as perfect. Nothing changes because what we just did, we exported it in another file. You get? So now there's something called prompt drilling. So instead of me having to instead of me having to type everything here, I just want to have the name. I want to have that name here too. Instead of PyTech, I'll remove that. So I want to bring in this my name, my age, and a student to this prop. Now, as you can see, the prop is empty now. You can see that. So I want to pass in it. I want to pass it as prop. So what do I do now? The same thing we did there. That's the same thing we're going to do because we are passing it as prop from here to here to here. So what do? We are going to pass it as prop. So we're going to have name. You can name this anything. You can name it anything. It mustn't be name. But name, at least it makes it more clear. You get it? So we have the name. Now we're not going to use string for the name because already we have the name property here. I'm passing it as props here. You get? So we're not going to pass it as props again. String, sorry. We're going to use the curly braces because already we have already passed it as string here. So we're just passing this name down to the another component. So I just going to come here and add the name. Also have the name. I remember we are having the name of this, not this now. Don't forget, we are having the name of this, not this. So I can even change this from name to F name. Like I told you, we can name it anything. It mustn't be name. My name is more clear. It's more like that's more clarity. You get. So we have the age. Well, let me put my age to tell you guys that it's not. You can use any. You can name it anything. We have my age. Then we pass in the age top. Then we have a student. A student equal to a student. So if we go to our another component prop, now I want to pass it in as prop now. I want to pass it in as prop. So which is more better? Should I use the props, or should I destructure it? So somebody help me. What do you think is better? Should I use the props property, or should I use the destructuring method? Hello?
I think the structuring method so that it will be cleaner.
Yeah, nice. So we're going to use the what? The structuring method. Now to use the structuring method, we're going to come with the curly braces. Then we're going to have what do we even name it here? We named it F name. So instead we're going to have F name. So we have the F name, comma. We have this my age. We have the my age, comma, and we have the is student. Nice. So we have the is student. So inside there, we are going to have the F name. So don't forget that it's empty here. So by the time we are done adding the props, we are going to see our name, my age, and the no or yes. So we are going to have the F name here. Then we have the my age. Then we have the student. Nice. So now when I save Control S and I go to my browser now, boom. Can you guys see? The reason why it's not showing anything in this student is, who can tell me why? We have the name and we have my age, but it's not showing anything in this student. And I added the student. Who can tell me why? Just look through this old one and you observe it. Look through the old one. Who can tell me why it's not showing anything?
Can you go back to your code, please?
Okay. Okay, let me go to my. Can you see?
Yes, yes. But scroll up a little bit, sir.
This is all there is to screen. Or should I go to the app.js?
Yes, the app.js.
So look at it. So let me bring down this a little bit. Then that. So you can see here. So have you seen the fault? Hello. Somebody should help me. Oh. I'm stranded. I don't know what to do. Somebody should help me. I mean, we are all here to talk to each
I
other.
think
I mean,
because it's wrapped.
is it? Yeah, you said something. Okay, okay. Let me just say. Wait, is it only Rafiu and Rufai that is saying something? Nobody saying something else. Jetro, you don't talk anything to do. Kali, um, Luca, we have David, we have Kaibat. You guys are not saying anything. You guys should speak now. I mean, this class should be interactive. Come on. Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, all right. So the reason why, okay. So let me continue. So the reason why it's not showing anything is because now, if you look at what I did here, is student is a boolean. It's not a string. It's not a number. So I believe that answers everything now. Like knowing that is a boolean. Boolean is something like it's more. Boolean is
Yeah,
not
yeah.
physical. It's more like an imagination, but you are telling it if it is true or not. Me telling you it's true. It's not a string. It's not a number, but it's a boolean, true or false. You get it? Just like the way we have the traffic lights, we have the green, red, and yellow. Green means move, yellow means ready, and red means stop. So that's that. That's that it is. And if you notice, I did add a text here. So that's why for now the boolean is actually displaying, but it's not showing anything because it's a boolean. And again, because I didn't add anything. So that's why I'll come here and add my ternary operator. I believe you guys did ternary operator during your JavaScript class, yeah?
So what do you call it, please?
Ternary operator is more like an if or else, if and else, sorry. It's
Okay,
another
yeah, yeah, yeah.
short It's another short way of writing if and else. Just like the way we have switch and case. Yeah, but once you use switch and case when we start using use reducer. Yeah. The way just like we have switch and case, we have if and else, and we have where's the other one? Um forgotten. Hmm. Yeah, but there's another one there is that does okay.
Is it the else
Oh,
if?
huh?
Are you
I
talking
said,
about
I said, is it the else if?
Yeah, it's JavaScript.
switch statement?
No, I know about switch. I know there's switch and case, there's if and else. There's another one. Um, I use that a lot too. I will remember. When I remember, I'll tell you guys about that. So we have students and we have the else. Or is it ternary operator? Probably. But I think I prefer ternary operator than the rest of them actually. It's more sweet, like it's more easy to use. You get like now I'm using if and else here because if I was to use if and else in this statement, this is how it could have been. This is how I could have done it with students. So if I was to use if and else in this statement, this is how it could have been. So it will be if I'm coming, someone just called me. Yeah, sorry. It will be if student is true, do this. Or let's say console.log rather. Console.log um let's say console.log true. Yeah. Then we're going to have the else. We're going to have the else if it is false. Show console.log false. So it's console.log something. Yeah. So okay. I don't know why it's showing error. Maybe we can't do it and else. Yeah, I think we can. Yeah, let me see what the error is. Expression expected if hmm, that's weird. Let's just stick to our ternary operator for now. I'll look into this later. Yeah, let's look into our ternary operator for now. I mean, ternary operator is very strict. If it is true, say yes. If it is false, say no. So I want to say no, yeah. And I want to add something like
I think it was
uh
when you put your this thing. Okay, how you declared your if statement. I think that was the error.
okay, how I declared it here. Oh, so
Yeah,
let me try
your
to
coil really should be after.
let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's see what I'm doing wrong. Uh, so if this um so let me disembark this now. Else let me see um console log king or something else. Forgot me, not else. So let me see. It's still not working. This way. I've used if and else before now. You give me okay. Let me see something. So if students show else to let me see. There must be something wrong. So I don't know what is wrong, but let's start look into it, shall I don't know. I don't have time to fixing bug right now. So let's look into that. Ah. So as we were saying, we have the is students. If it is students, show yes, else show no. So I want to add, are you a student here? Are you a student? So apply is going to be yes or no. So it's going to display our, it's going to show no because it is false. So you can see what is inside this button. Are you a student? It's showing what? No. But if we were to change this to true, it's going to show yes. It's going to show yes. You can see that. So nice, nice, nice. So this is more like prop drilling. You get everything we are doing here is more like prop drilling. Let's say we want to have another component inside this one and we want to pass in this our prop again. Maybe we have another component called let's say another, let's for example, another no, let me use small letter, another third div or something. I'm just giving an example. Then you add this, and we're now passing in all these props inside and this div. It is called prop drilling. But when we get to use reducer or use context, we don't need to do this. All we need to do, we don't need to do all this. We just need to import it into the file you need to use it in, and that is all. Then extract the data. You get that is all. So for now, we are done with props. So let's go to use. Let's go to use. Why is it showing error? Okay, okay. I've got it now. Have I not? I have. So nice. Let's go to hooks. So I wrote on HackMD. We have React hooks. And the first one we have is what? useState. useState hooks allows you to add state to the functional components. State is a data that changes over time or in response to user actions. So I'm not going to do this counter. I believe you guys have done counter. Yeah? Or should I go through it again, or what do you guys think? Hello? Should I go through counter again, or should I just move on?
Yes, just go through it, sir. Just go through
I
it.
just run through it.
Okay, I should go through it again, yeah?
Yes, sir.
Okay, nice, nice. So um we have, let me go to, so you can see the example I gave. This is how to start your use state. We have, first of all, we need the const, then we have the square bracket, then we have the state and the set state. Now this state is more like the data, and this set state is more like the one you use to update it, the one you use to update this data, and it is equal to use state. Then this initial value that I wrote here, it can be anything. It can be 0, it can be false, it can be true, it can be an array, it can be an object, it can be anything. But for now, that's why I gave a short brief explanation on it. I gave initial value, the initial value of the state. That is, the initial value can be anything. So you can see what I said earlier. I said state is the current state value, while set state is the one you use to update the state. Is a function you use to what? Update the state. And we have example 1, a simple counter application. So let's go through it. So should I delete all this stuff or should I comment it? Which one is it gonna be? So I think I should just comment it, or probably I should just put it in its own components. So it will be just there. Yeah. So I should put it in its own components. Remember, a component is very important. It makes your work more readable and more like understandable. So we have child components. We have child components. We have child component.js. So if we just come here, all we have to do is what? We just have to copy that, paste it here. We just have to copy that and paste it here. Then we are going to export it now. We're going to export it. Export what? Default. Then the name of the component wants to be export. So now we are exporting child components, then end it to semicolon. So when we come here, I want us to import it. We're going to import that. Just like the way we did another component. We're going to import child component from all this, the child components. Nice. So when we save, the error is going to all go away. Yeah, nice, nice, nice. The reason why I'm showing this another component is because we are not using it in the. So instead of importing it here, I think we should just bring it into this chat component, because this is where we are using it. We are going to import it here, rather. So you can see how it all goes. It's all about props and components. You get. Now, if I save it, you can see now the error has all gone away. So let's create a new component for the counter. So it will be more. Let's check if our app is working first. So let's refresh. Nice, it's working. So let's create a new file for our counter. But before, let's not do it here, rather. Let's do it here. So you guys will be seeing everything. Then later we are going to export it. So we have function. Called, I'm going to name it counter. then we're going to be returning a div. But now I believe you guys, yeah, I watched the video yesterday and I believe you guys have done fragments. Yeah, you guys know fragments. Fragments is not a div, it's not a H1, it's not a P tag, it's just there. Instead of having a how will I explain fragment now? Well, I don't know. Fragment doesn't like it's just there. So let's just Google that. Let's Google that. I mean, that's what we have on the internet. And if you feel like you're not sure, you what? You Google it. So not why. So what is fragments? So what is fragments? Fragments in React. So you can see a React fragment is a feature in React that allows you to return multiple elements from a React component, by allowing you to group a list of children without adding extra notes to the document, to the DOM. Now, what do they mean? Now, if we were to add the fragment, let me open my terminal. If we were to open a fragment, let's go to elements. So I want you guys to see something. I don't know. So, now look at this div. Look at where we are now. We are at root, and we have the app. We have another one. We have another component. So we have the p tag, which is name. Then we have another div that has the another name inside. So if we want to add, maybe once. Okay, let me write something real quick. Let me just add button. So I want to give it hello world. So I'm going to call it here. It's going to be what now? Counter, capital letter C. Don't forget the casing I told you guys about. We have capital letter C and we end it. It doesn't have a closing tag. When we get to closing tag components, we're going to talk about that. But now, what we're doing doesn't have the components. So it's going to display under this button. Now you can see the hello world. Yeah. But now, if you notice, the hello world is not wrapped inside this div here. Because if you notice, it is wrapped only under the app because we are putting it inside this app. But it is not wrapped. It doesn't have a body, a fragment inside the element. Now look at this. We can see that all these are wrapped, but when we get to this stage, it doesn't get wrapped into anything. Now, well, let me add a div now. I want you guys to see something. But when I add a div now, let's hit refresh. Now you can see it is now inside a div. Now we have to open this div for us to see our data. You can see, but if we were to remove this div, it's going to show here now instead of this div. It's going to be the fragment that's showing. So I think that's what fragment does. Yeah, but let's use a div this time. Yeah, let's just add a count instead of button. Okay, the button. Let's add a plus. Then we are going to talk about Tailwind as we go on. Instead of using app.css, we are going to start using Tailwind CSS. You get it? It's not like the senior border of CSS. Yep. So Tailwind is a framework of CSS, not a library. Or is it a library? Anyone shall. So we want to have a p tag that says count. Now, so this is the basic setup. Now we are doing so. So now inside this counter, we want to have our use states. So what is the first thing we need to do when using any hook? Who can tell me? Like, what is the first thing we need to do? Huh? Hello? Can anybody hear me? Or am I just free? Let me check. Hey guys, hear me?
Declare the hook first.
You said I will do what? Huh? Please, I can't hear you. You guys should speak up. So what am I supposed to do when using hooks? So the first thing I'm supposed to do, we are supposed to import our any hook you are using. You have to import it before you use it. Because if you don't import it, you are just writing normal. It's going to even show you an error. Same. That's the thing. It's going to show you an error, and you have to fix the error. So the first thing we need to do is what? Import it. Sorry, we have come here. I'll do what? We're going to do import use state. When you click it from React, you are seeing. So we have imported our use state. Now we can now use it. So to use it, we have the const. I believe you guys need const less and var. Var is the old model there when declaring variables. They don't use var now. What we use is less and const. But const is the most used. Yeah, constants you can be able to change. You can't be able to change the variable, but with let you can be able to change it. You get. So we have the const, and we have the count. Remember, count is the current state of the value of the states. So we have the set state. Now this is the one that's updating it. This is the one that's going to be updating the state. Then equal to then the use state we imported. That is where it comes in handy. So equal to use state. Then your parentheses. So inside out now, since we are dealing with number, we are not dealing with text. Since we are doing a counter, we want to start with the 0. We want to start with 0. Then don't your semicolon. But now inside our increase button, we want to do on click. I believe you guys did this yesterday. And I believe somebody, I think it was you, Jetro. You had an issue with your this thing and you didn't add the equal to. Yeah, I think it was you. I don't know. Was it you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is how we do it. After the on click now, then we have equal to then the curly braces. On click equals to then the curly braces. Then after that, we have there are two ways to do it. Now we're going to do the two ways. So the first one, we have the parentheses equal to, then we have the arrow function. This is called an arrow function. So we want to do set state. So we want to do set state. Then we set state. So we want to do count because now we are getting the current state and the current state is 0. So this count now is officially 0. So 0 plus 1. So I don't know if you guys get. Yeah, so let's just continue. So now, since this count is 0, we need somewhere to display it. And this is where we're going to display it. Inside this curly braces, we're going to add the count there because by default, count is what? 0. If we were to add 500, 333 here, count is going to be 333 by default. Let me show you guys what I mean. Let me show you what I mean. So you are going to see count 333 now. You can see. Can you see it?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Yeah, nice. So well, I want to comment this stuff. Yeah, I'm not sure if we need it anymore. So let me just comment that. Yeah, let me comment this too. Aha, nice. But now we want to start from 0, not 333. This one is going to update to 0 instead of 333. You can see our 0 here. So now this increase button now, you can see we have the plus. What we did was on click, and this is the arrow function. It's not like instead of I want you to I want this stuff to happen immediately if I click it. You get. So we have the set state. We are now having 0 plus 1 because by default 0 is count. Count is 0. You get. This counts represents anything that's inside here and present the current state. While set represents updating state. So if you click on plus now, it's going to increase. Can you guys see? So are you guys coding along with me or
Yes, sir. We are with you,
are
sir.
you are you coding along with me?
No, we are just.
No, we are just listening.
Okay, nice, nice, nice. Okay, so let me just continue. I thought you guys were coding along with me. Okay, so the same thing we did there, the same thing we're going to do. The same thing we did here now. We're just going to copy it instead of typing everything because it is literally the same thing we're going to do for the minus. Any just what we need to change is what the plus, we change it to minus because now that deducting, we're not increasing anymore. So if you click minus, you can see it's going down, and you can see this one is coming up. So I believe this cool. So I think that is all for counter. So I gave another example here, managing a form field. So we have this managing a form field now. So let's go back to our VS Code. Let's go back to our VS Code. Yep. So this counter, let me delete this. We don't need that again. Or rather, let me just change it to. I'm going to change it to form field rather. Coming. Let me. Form field. Nice. So we have form field there. We have form field. So I just need to delete all this. So I want to have a simple form now that says so we have the form label one impute. Yeah. So use states instead of div now we are going to change it to form. We are going to change it to what form. So inside the form we have the label. and the label will say impute your name. I want to show you another use case of using useState. Impute your name. After that, we are going to have our impute that says, we're going to have our impute with, let's close it first. So with a type equal to text. So we have, I think that's all for now. So when we go back to our website, you can see input your name here. Then you can see the text here. So let me add a column here. So now let's get to it. So let's change this to name. I'll change this to name, set name. Then now, instead of number, we are going to start with an empty string. Yeah, we don't want it to be a number right now. We want it to be an empty string. Yeah, that's what we want it to happen. So after that, we are going to have a function, or rather, before that, we are going to have a function that says handle handle name or something. It can be anything, but it should be reasonable. It should be a reasonable name. Okay. So let's say handle name. So after that, after the handle name, we are going to add an E here. This E has a lot of functionality. I don't know. We're going to talk about that later in the future, yeah. But for now, just flow with me. So we are going to do E dot prevent default. Prevent default. So what this does is it removes any default behavior. Like now, a form usually refresh. When you click a submit button, it's usually refresh. But when you give it this E dot prevent default, it cancels that default behavior. It cancels it. You get. So after this, we have the now what do we want to do now? We want to have an alert. An alert, more like the way we have the normal alert, it's going to pop out and says my name, that is going to say, let's use a template ritual. Going to say my name is, let's not forget my name is, then we have the $sign. We have the $sign. Where is it? And we're going to impute this name here. So by default, remember this name is an empty string, yeah. So what do we do next? This form now is going to do on submit. On submit, I want you to undo this. On submit, I want this action to be performed, because by default, if you come here, you are not performing action. So we are going to have a button there. That's where if we click it, it's going to perform it's going to perform an action. Sorry. So we have the button. Let's give it a button. So this button now is going to have the type of submit. Type equal to submit. You get it has the type equal to submit, and we're going to give it a text of submit. So this is not all. We still have a lot to do. You get so you can see now. You can see what is happening now. If we click this submit now, it's going to pop out this action that I told you to do. I said if I click on this button and it's the type of submit, I want you to perform this action. That's why we have on submit here. Anytime it's going to listen, it's not listening for a click now. It's listening for a submit action. It might be on change, it can be on block. As long as it is submitting the form, I want you to perform this handle name function. So now if you click on this submit, because we have the type of submit here. Again, so if we click on submit, you can see it's performing the action. It's saying my name is. Do you know why it's not showing anything? Because of the empty string here. Again, if I were to put Martin here by default, I want it to be Martin by default. It's going to update to my name is Martin. Now we let it reload. Okay, so let it reload. Let's reload it. So if we click on submit now, can you see it's saying my name is Martin now? Because by default we are saying let it be Martin, but we don't want that. We just want it to be an empty string. The second thing we are going to do is we want to do it in a case where if we input name here, let's say I input Martin here, and I click on submit, it should show any name that I'm going to write here. Any name that I'm going to write, I want it to show it on the alerts. So not just doing it automatically by ourselves. You get. So that's what we're going to do now. So we're going to add another event called on change. But before that, I'm going to add a value. I'm going to add the value, and the value is going to have the name property. So this value is more like the value we are getting the value of this use case, and by default is an empty string. Then now we have the on change now. On change. So what this on change is doing is that as we are typing, I want it to be updating. I want it to be changing as we are typing. You get it? That's what I'm telling it to do now. I want it to be updating as we are typing this on change stuff. So so what do we do here now? We are going to do sorry. We are supposed to have this. Then e dot value dot what now? Sorry, let me check quick. E the target of value. Sorry for my mistake. Sorry for that. Supposed to be e dot target of value, not e dot value. So now we want to update this. Now what do we target? We are going to target this set name. because now we are trying to update it. I'm going to target state name and do the e dot target dot value. Now we are getting the value we added here. Don't forget this value that we have here. That's what we are targeting. E dot target of value. So if we save it, it's going to reload. And when we go back and we impute which process am I going to use? Let's use RuPi. Yeah, let's use RuPi. RuPi. So we have RuPi here, yeah. So if I click on something now, it's going to show my name is RuPi. Can you see? Isn't this beautiful? Huh?
It's okay.
Yeah, nice. So any name you impute here is going to show there. It can be, let's type in anything. When we click on submit, it's going to bring in that stuff we wrote. Because as we are typing, it's on changing it. That's why we have the unchange. Unchange means as you are typing, I want you to be updating it. As you are typing, be updating it. So that's what it means. So I think that is all for use case. So let's go into so do you guys understand use case now? Like you guys know that you understand use case now. Huh?
To some extent, sir. Okay.
To some extent. All right. Okay, I think what you need to do is after the video, you just try to watch the video again. You get it? Hello?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah,
And
so
please, you help us with the link to the HackMD documentation so that we can go through it if it's
yeah,
possible.
for sure. I'll
Yeah.
send you later. Yeah.
All
So
right.
the next thing we're going to talk about is, I mean, as we are moving, it's going to be getting tougher. So embrace it again. But I'll try as much as possible to explain everything. So I'm going to send a video resource where you guys can watch some videos on React before the next class. So at least you'll be able to catch up. Yeah, I think the name of the guy is Jonas. I'll send it later. So let's proceed. We have use effect. Now this is where it gets interesting. So use effect, the use effect hook is used to handle side effects. Side effect includes fetching data from an API. I believe you guys have done fetching data from an API in JS. Then we have the interacting with the browser, e.g., updating the document title. We are going to do that. Yeah. Then we have setting up subscriptions for or timers. Yeah. Setting up subscriptions or timers. Interacting with the browser, updating the something like that. So we have use cases of use effects. What are the use cases now? So without dependencies, okay, I think we should just do it now. So let me go to my code. So I'm going to clear this. So in the video, you can just copy it. You can pause it and copy it. So instead of clearing it, let me just share it now. So I'm going to do Control D. Then we're going to change it to let's see. To use effects, use effects components. Nice. Changing it to use effects components. So let's proceed. Yeah, let me clear all these. We don't need them. Going to change this to a div. Then I'm going to clear. We're going to clear all this. So, nice. So we're going to be importing use effects. So what we just need to do, we just add a comma here and import use effects. Where is it? Really. We just need to import use effect, add a comma and import it. So under here, we're going to have our so what do we have here? So now we want to fetch the data from an API. Just use a random API that has fake data in it. So, but before that, let's update the document title. Yeah, we want to use this using our use effects. So, um, so we are going to have, where is it? We are going to have our, it's- we want to have our use effect. This is how you define the use effect. So you just click on the use effect, then you click this. Now you guys my screen, no, please. Can you see my screen? Like the network is bad today. I don't know. All right. It's like the network is bad. Right. So,
Yeah, actually, sometimes your voice is always breaking sometimes.
oh, sorry about that. I don't know. Um, so we have this, our attendance, our arrow function. Then, so let's create a function that updates our title. We want to create a function that updates our title. Now, what do I mean by that? So if you come here, you can see now we have the React app on this title. Look at where my arrow is pointing. We have the React app in this title. So we are going to create a function that updates it using the use effect and the use state actually. So let me delete this. Yeah, it should be there. So inside this, now this is how you define the use effect. Now we start with the arrow function. This thing that looks like parentheses. Then we give it an arrow function. It's not like it's pointing toward the data we are going to change. Now this point towards the data we're going to change, which is this curly braces. So inside the curly braces now is where the action happens. You get. So what do we want to do inside this use effect now? So if we click on, so we want to change our document title. Yeah. So this is how we do it. Just do documents dot title is equal to what? Let me add the template string called count. So I want to change it to count. Then I want it, if I update on my account, I want it to be updating. You get. So if I update it, let's change to name. No, it shouldn't be name now. It should be name. It's let me change this to count. You have the count. So nice. So I want to change this to set count. So we'll start from 0. Yeah, start from 0. So now what we are doing here is once the page reloads, and this is effect now is checking for changes, where if it's notice that there's a state change, it's going to update the document or title to this value I gave it, which is the count. So we're going to come here inside there. I'm going to do updates. Let me give it a Peter rather. Let's give it a H3. Let's say updates the documents title. So you can see now, then what is this saying? So now we want to add an on-click event handler now to this stuff. So we're going to have an on-click that says it's going to just be set count. And remember, we're setting it to count, just count plus 1. So count plus 1. So we don't need all this right now. I think we are done with this. So if we go back to our, let me save. So if we go back here, now you can see the, if I click on this, now can you guys notice at the top, it's updating. I'm clicking on the document right now, update the document. Is the this thing is changing. But if I refresh now, it's going to go back to the initial state it is, which is the React app. Can you guys see? It's going to change, go back to the initial state where it starts from 0. So now if you look at the doc I wrote, I said this, and again before I forget, useEffect also has a dependency, an array dependency. You get, it's called what? An array dependency. If you look at what I wrote here, the dependencies, dep1 and dep2. I give an example here. Runs whenever any dependency change. So if we add a dependency, it will only affect the document title if we update, if it's listing for like if the document changes. So let's add a array dependency here, which is called count, which is called counts. Now this title now is to only update only if count updates and count is 0. Only if we click on this, that is the only time to update. You get, that is the only time it will update. That's why I added, where is it? Runs whenever count changes. So nice. So let's go back to our browser. So if we click, it will only any other thing inside there doesn't concern you. This will only change only when we click on the title. Get, only when you click on the title. That's how it is. So that is the first one I'm going to talk about. So let's go for the second one, which is an API call. We are doing an API call now. So I want to go to the React doc. I want to show you guys what they said about use effects. So effects lets a component connect to and synchronize with external system. This includes dealing with network, browser DOM, animations, widgets written using a different UI library, and other non-React node. You get so effects and escape hatch from the React paradigm. Don't use effects to orchestrate the data flow of your application. If you are not interacting with an external system, you might not need an effect. Now, because you can see, you can hear what they are trying to say. If we are not interacting um with an external system, more like an API. API is an external system because we are calling it from a place we don't know about. You get it? That is one of the terms we use effects when we are dealing with external stuff, more like an API, data from the backend and stuff like that. You get it? So we have the use layouts, files before the browser. So I know we talk about this, don't talk about use effects. So um let's come here. So let me get rid of this. We don't need that. So now I'm not sure if we need. So let me copy the API. This thing. Let me copy the API we're going to use. So we call getting this API. Aha, nice. That's the API we're going to be using. You get. So we are still going to use it too. Don't get me wrong. But we are going to use useState. So now we want to fetch our data. We want to fetch our data using this bracket. Now this is an empty array. I want it to be the default of this use state. Why? Because by the time we fetch our data, we are going to push it into the array. Then we are going to then map to it. Am I making sense? We are going to do what? By the time we get our data from this API, I'm going to console or log this. You guys will see the data that is there. They will then send it into this array. Then by the time the data is there, we'll now map to it using counts.map. Let me change this to instead of counts. Let me change it to user. Yeah. Let me change it to user. Nice. So now there are many ways to fetch an API. We either use the normal way, which is the fetch and which is the fetch then. That is you're going to fetch, then you start doing the does then method, or you use async await. But for now, we are going to use the fetch. So we'll start with fetch, then this. Then we're going to paste the API I copied. Remember, I copied an API. We're going to paste it. Now, we have fetched our data, but it is not yet in our application. So we are going to use the dot then. So we use the dot then, more like we are promising it. You get dot then method. Then we have the rest. Yeah, I think rest maybe yeah, v equals to rest dot JSON. You get so now be equal to rest dot JSON. Don't forget this because I remember when I started, I used to always forget this stuff. You see this stuff. Anytime I'm calling an API, I'll do rest dot JSON, I'll forget it. I'll now start having errors. I don't know how this where my fault is coming from. So you get now it is now in a JSON format. Now we now want to bring it into our application. We want to extract it from a JSON now. So we're going to have it as data. We're going to have the data equal to data dot. Then you can now start adding the data. You get. For now, I'm not going to console or log. Yeah, I want to console or log the data. Yeah, like I said, I want to show you guys something. So now in this, I want to console log console.log. Also console log the data. I want you guys to see it. Let me leave this empty for now. So I have console log data. Let me go back here. Now I will go to console. Now we can see our data here. Can you guys see? Look at the data we are fetching from the API. So look at the data we are fetching from the API. The reason why it's showing this because of this. Let me remove it. Don't need that. So so if you notice, you can have look at the data we are getting from the API. So each data has a name, a phone number, a username, a website. We're able to get their exact location. Then we have the streets, we have the suites, we have the zip code. So, and all of that. So we're going to get the data of all these people now, all of them. We're going to get data of all of them. But the first thing we need to do is what? Now, since we've console log it, let us set it. This set user now. Instead of user, it's going to be data. Now, it is now we have updated it now to data. I hope you get. So since now that since this useState now has this data, this set user now it now has this data now, and it is stored inside this empty array. We pushed it here. So we are going to come here. We are going to map through it. We are going to do user dot map. We are going to map through the data, and we are going to name it person. Then inside there, we are going to do. So I want to create another component, or I think creating a component will be more better. Should I just use an li? So let me just use an li for now. So I'll use an li. I'm using an li. Then inside this li, we have the person. So remember, there's a name here. The person has the name, an ID, a phone number, and so on. So we want the name, we want this ID and we want the phone number. You get? Or probably the website too. We have the name, then let's say username. Or let's get the username to self. Now be uh user. So it will be person dot username. You can see the it itself. I think we did this with the first. You get? So person the username, then so let's just test if it's working. So why is it showing that error? So I think we need to add a key. I think so. Let's add a key. I'll explain what it does. It's more like make the components more unique. So that's where the ID is coming from. So what is this saying? The map expects a return from an arrow function. What are they saying? Let me see. Return what? All right. Okay. So let's refresh. Um, it's not showing the data. I don't know why. Let me see something. Okay, let me change it from this to this. Come in. Okay. I think I know why. I know why it is showing that. Yeah. Or not. Instead of this, let's use this. So So it's supposed to work now. I went to use the wrong input there. Can you guys see? Now we have the name of the person, or instead of the username, let's change it to phone number. Phone number. Person dot, so how do they define the phone number here? So it's to be person dot phone. So if we go back, when we refresh, so it's like it's a bit rough, yeah. But let me just delete this. We are going to update it. But for now, at least we are getting our data. Now, if you guys can see, we can get anything we want. We can get it from this API. So do you guys understand what I'm doing so far? Hello. All right. It's only Jetro and Wi-Fi that's responding since. I don't know. about the others. So I want everybody to respond, like throw an emoji. Everybody. I
Yeah,
shout.
we are getting you now. We are getting you.
Okay, they are getting it there. Nice, 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 nice. So now, since we've gotten our data, let's create a component and pass it in as props. So it will be more easier. Let's create a component here that says trolley function and give it user details. User details. Then inside there, we are going to have a return. We're going to have a return, then a div. Then inside this div, we want the first one to be the name. So there's going to be a curly braces there. Then the second one is going to be a key tag 2. This name should be h5. Then the phone number. Then we want to get the website of the person. Let's do it as a spam. So let's add the spam and put a curly braces. So what we want to get again from there, let me see. So the phone number, website name, then email, or probably ID too. So let's give it an email too. Let's give it an email. So inside there, and I think that should be all for now. So what do we do here now? Instead of this li, we are going to change it to user details and pass it in as props. User details. Then we delete this. To have the key, then inside the user details, we should then we should have the we should have set of person should be name. So then we should have the phone number. Let's just name it as phone number. There should be person dot phone, if I remember correctly. Then we have the website. Website of that person, which will be person dot websites. Then we have the what again? It's remaining one thing. I forgot. Is it what is the last thing that's remaining? So faculty, okay, yeah, okay. It's the email. I told you guys I want to add an email. So we have the name, phone number, website. So we're getting it from the API. Yeah, so I'm going to delete this. We don't need this too. We just need to end it with a slash. Nice. So now with all these things I've gotten, you can see this is a component. This is not an li again. So I want to bring it in here as props. We are going to do, instead of, I want to bring it in as name, comma, then we have the phone, then comma, then we have the website. So inside here, we just display what we want to display. First of all, I want to display the name. Remember what I did there? I'm doing the structure here. Don't forget, this is called the structure. Instead of me adding the props, this is called the structure. Wow. Again, so we have the phone. Let's add it here too. Then websites. Do we need the username? Yeah, let me just add username. Not necessary, but let me just add it. Equal to user person the username. Remember, we're getting this from an API. User name. We're getting it from an API, so we'll just pass it in here as username. So we just add the username here. Const or something. And I think they are using app.css. So we'll do dot const. I just want to style it. I also want it to be more like, I'll give it background color. So I want to give it blue violet or something. So let's go back. You're going to see our beautiful. Nice. So can you guys see? Each of them has their name, their phone number, their email, and their username. Isn't this beautiful? So let me reduce it. So you can see. Nice. So do you guys understand what I did so far? I created a component. Then passed in the props. That is the API. The data we got from the API. I passed it in as props. You get it? Hello. It's like I'm talking to myself.
No, I get you, sir. I get you.
Yeah, nice. So now, if you notice now, there's another issue I want you guys to notice. Anytime this thing refresh, it's always like creates another console of log. I think that's where this one comes in. It should only update if there's a state change. Now that's where we are going to add the user. Now we're adding the user here. So if we refresh it, it's console of log it, but only when we change something. So it's going to show the console of log, but it's not going to keep on repeating itself every time that we are changing something. Because if you notice, we have a bunch of console of log here. Again, but with this dependency now, this dependency that added, it will only change. It will only console of log and update this thing if only there's a state change. You get now you can see. You can see it's creating a bunch of it's creating an endless what do they call this, an infinity loop. It's calling the data each time. Every time it's calling the data. So we don't need that. So we're going to remove what? We're going to remove it and keep it as empty. We're going to remove this user and leave it empty. So it will only update now if there's a state change. Guys, that empty now, what it does is once it's mounts now, what I mean like by mount is that once our data appears, it doesn't update like the way that other one was doing. You can see once it mounts, it doesn't update because if you look at my hackmd file, you can see with dependencies. That is, if there's a dependency, it runs on every render. That's what it was doing. It was causing that infinity loop. But with an empty dependency, an empty array runs only once the component mounts. So if you see, it is not doing all those many dependency stuff. It only runs if the component mounts. You get? So while the third one with dependency, the one and the two runs whenever any dependency changes. You get? So I think that is all for use effects. So I hope, I believe you guys understand what use effect is doing. Hello? Any question on use effects before I proceed to use context? Hello? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we are with you. We are with you.
So any question or should I proceed?
So sorry, I'm not clear about the last thing you did that stopped the multiple zero occurrence in the console. You did
Yeah, so
something.
yeah. So I added a dependency. I added this user because this is the state that holds the current, that determines the current state, this user. So I added it here. And remember, we are using use effects, always fetching. It's always fetching the data, always. So since it's always fetching the data, it's going to keep on re-rendering on every time. Now, when it reloads, you can see. Can you see? You can see it now.
Yes,
It's re-rendering. But it's the reason why, because we are fetching the data every time. But if we remove it, and remember what I said in my hack MD, I said it. I said interacting with the browser, e.g., updating document title. Now use cases of use effect without dependencies. That is, if there's no dependency, it re-renders. It only re-render on. It runs on every re-render. I don't know if you get what that means. That is, if there's no dependency,
yes,
like
yes.
if there's no dependency here, it only runs on every render. While if there's an empty dependency array, runs only once after the component mount. Now, since there's no array here, it will only run once the component mounts. And it will stop fetching the data that it's fetching. So let me refresh. If I refresh now, to like just show it to stop updating that one. You get?
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. So I want to share you something. Let's say reload. You can see. Now it's just showing only two. It's not rendering every time again. It's only render only if there's a state change inside there now. Maybe I change something. Or let me even change something. Let me change this. So let me go back to add. It's going to add now. Watch. Did I change anything? Okay. So supposed to increase. I'm coming. Let me change something that's really worth it. So let me move this chart components. Let me see. So I removed the chart components. So let's see what's you can see it increased by 1 because there's a state change. So that's how it is. If I go back next to increase by another 1 again, you can see it. Nice, nice, nice. So what do we have next? So we have use context. The use context hook allows you to access data or functions shared globally across components. Let me come again. The use context hook allows you to access data or functions shared globally across components without the need to pass props down the component tree, which is called prop drilling. Instead of us doing that prop drilling, we can just pass in the props, and this is how it works. So we are going to create a context using React.context, create context rather. Then we are going to provide the context with value, context value with context of provider. Now watch. So what is the first thing we need to do now? Let me explain this code for you guys. So we are importing the face context, we have the use context, and we have the use state. The first thing we need to do is create this context. Now we are creating the context now. Then the second thing we need to do is the team provider. This is a function name. Because what we want to do is we want to do dark mode and light mode. That's what we're trying to do now. So yeah. Then we have the const team equal to set team equal to use state, sorry. We are by default it is set to light. So we are doing the toggle set team field. So let's get to it. So now what is the first thing we need to do? So we are going to create 3 different components. This one, and this one. Teamed button and teamed components. That is the 2 things we are going to create now. So this, I believe, needs to be fast. We don't have time. We just have 30 minutes left. So I hope you guys will just go and watch the video. So I'll try and be fast so that we'll be able to meet up with the time. So let me clear all this. So let me clear all this. So what is the first thing we have? We have we have to import create context, then comma, yeah. So after that, we need to so we need to create a context here, do const to do const team context. So I'm trying to save it in a variable. Team context equal to create. Now, just like we have this Use state is the same way I'm going to use this because we create context. Nice. So what is the next thing? So we need to create a function called team provider. Team provider. Called team provider. Then go in with this, and we're going to pass it in as children. Children. So I explain everything as if I'm or explaining what I'm trying to do. We are passing the children as like we are passing in the props as children. No, we have props, we have the structuring, and we have children. Now, children is the part of the components that has a closing tag. You get children has a closing tag. So we have the cost, we have the team, comma, then sets team. So equal to use states. So we want it to be by default, we want it to be on the light mode. We want it to be light by default. It gets. So const toggle. So now what you do is toggle is to check more like the way we have on click. But now I'm trying to save this in a function now. That is the only difference now. So we have the arrow function. So we have the arrow function. Then we are going to call this setting now. Setting. Then once we give it field, let me just give it CIM team. Don't mind me. Then now we want to check if team is equal to light. If team is equal to light, I want you to show the dark mode. I want you to show the dark mode. Else, oh, what am I doing? Sorry. Show this is supposed to be light. Then if it is light, show dark. Else, show sorry. Else, show light. You get. So this is it. Then we have to return it. We have to return it and wrap it into the teamed context. Into this team context now. This one that we're creating. Team context. Hey, I forgot the team context of provider. Does provider. Yeah, then the value. Let's not forget the value. Are you guys with me?
Yes, sir.
So
Royalty.
sorry,
We
please,
have
where
the
is the provider coming from? Sorry.
yeah, this provider is more like they're trying to provide the props now. We want it to be accessible into this same context. I don't know if you get. Now, this is the props, yeah. The provider now. Now this team content of provider, we're going to it's more like we are trying to make it global because we are going to wrap in our app. This is our app function. We are going to wrap it inside so that it will affect everywhere. You get. So the value now. So the value now, then we have the same comma, then toggle thing. Because already this is where the toggle thing is coming. You are just adding a if and else statement. You get. So after we are done with that, we close it. Then the same thing with the team context dot provider. The team should be capital letter. Provider. Yeah. So I'll go through it again. Don't worry if you don't understand. I'll go through it again. Then we're going to pass in the children. Remember, you have a children top. It's showing error now because you haven't created the second function. Yeah, we're going to pass in the children. Then the next thing is the teamed button. Because now if you check what I did there, I created another function called teamed button. Again, so we're going to create now. We are going to import. You can see that we created our use state here. Now we're going to instead of us passing it as props, we are just going to destructure it, just like the way we are doing use state. We're going to destructure it. Then we're going to use context, then team context. The team context is this. You get. So let me create another function here called teamed button. Called teamed button. Then so I know the class gets long. I'll try to round up. Let's just copy this stuff. So we're able to talk about the many of them. I would have loved to type it, but don't have time. Let me just copy this. So I need to talk about the remaining props. Nice. So I know it's showing error right now, but it's going to work. Then we need to like put it inside the app. We need to put it inside the app here and see team provider. Team provider. So remember, we are putting this inside team provider. Sure. Don't know why it's slow.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Any question?
Yeah, can like check the income. Do something.
Yeah. What did you say? Huh? Hello? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I said you should try. I said you should try and check the. Yes, we can hear you. I said you should try and income message. Wally is trying to say something there.
Okay.
The comment section. Yeah.
Sorry. Don't mind me. See, I'm coming. So, so somebody's trying to say something. Who is that? So, import hook. Good morning. This is the attendance form. You haven't started the button. Nice. I think you think of provide show closing tag at this. Okay. 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 Tally. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Yeah. It's true. Let's close it at the yeah. Single provider. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that, Tally. Yep. And I think we're supposed to do the same thing for this. Where is it? Nice. So yeah, thank you for that, Nali. Tally, sorry. No mind me. So we are going to do the same button now. Then we'll end it again. So let's test if our dark mode slash light mode is working now. Yeah, sorry, I don't know. Time is kind of running fast today. Yeah, Tally, can you hear me? Thank you for that. You're paying attention. Yeah, thank you. All right. Sorry. I haven't imported use context. Supposed to have imported it. So because we are using use context to extract the props. You get use context. We are using it to extract the props. Yeah. You get not like the way you can use it in another file. Where is it? We are using it to extract the props here. That's why it's showing this error. But it's going to work now. So let's see if it will work. Okay. What do we have? Team provider components. Also do have the reminder. Okay. So it's not showing me this error, yeah? What is it trying to say here? Let me see. We don't need this. Then I'm coming, let me check something. So I think it's supposed to work now. It doesn't work. It's supposed to work now. So let's refresh. Still showing the same error. Wait, expected a string for a say expected a string for built-in components or a class function for components, but got undefined export or components from the file it's defined in, or you might have mixed up defaults on the import. Check the render method of team provider. Okay. Where's the team provider? Yeah, sorry. Is weird. Python. Let me check something. Everything worked well this time. Let me see. It was working this morning. Okay, let me see if it will work. Maybe it's from me. What did I do? So sorry. So let me see if it's me that is doing the mistake. Reported as app was not found in. Okay, we need to export it. Export. Export defaults. Default app. So let's see. So it's going to work now. Yeah, it's going to work. Definitely, it's going to work now. So can you see? If I click on this toggle team, it's going to change to dark mode. Can you see? Hello, guys. Please, you guys will respond now.
We can see, we can see, we can see.
Yeah, if I change this button now to body, it's going to affect the whole body now. Now, this star is a conditional that I'm giving it. Hopefully, I'm coming. So I think I should add a body here. So I'm coming. I'm trying to make it work on everywhere. So this body now, we're going to add this tab in the body. I'm also trying to see that it's working. So let me save. So now, if I toggle it, you can see. Let me add a width a height of 100 VH, height of 100 VH. So it's going to affect everywhere now. So if I click on this, let it reload. Aha. So can you see the dark man light mode now? At least you can use it in your website. It makes it more fun. It gives the user more the ability to choose if they really like the light mode or the dark mode. You can even change the color, yeah. Yeah, you can change the color from let's change it to something like F2 or something. So it's going to be changing from white and red now, not white and black. It's let me reload. Let me reload. Can you see? So let me explain what I just did. Let me explain what I just did. So it's my code. Now what I did was, hello, can you guys? So what I did was I imported the create context and the use context. So after importing it, then I have the team context. So I created a variable called team context. This is a variable, and it is now equal to what? Create context, more like the way we are doing equal to use state. That is how I did it. This one doesn't have an array. You get? So that is how I did it. So then I have a function. Now, this function I have so 1 minute, guys, just a sec. So sorry for that. So what we did was we created a function called team provider. Yeah. Inside the team provider, what we did was we added a use state called team. Remember, this is the one that knows the current state of the use state of the value you get, and why this is the one that is updating it, which is equal to use state, and the default we are giving it is light. So if when the user comes to your website, it's going to be on light mode. Then we have the toggle thing. This toggle thing is more like we can name it anything. So it's more like instead of us writing the on click on this button, what is it? So remember, instead of this toggle thing now, instead of us writing all this stuff, all this set team stuff inside this on click. So we just just added this in the function, an arrow function. This is called an arrow function. Yeah. So then we did the setting, we're updating it now, and we are checking if the previous one, if the previous color is equal to light. That is when I click it and the previous color is equal to light by default. Okay, what I mean is by default now it is light. And if I click it and I saw that okay, it is equal to light and I click it, I want it to change from light to dark mode. So that's what this part is trying to say. Else show light. It means that if it is on dark mode and you click it again, it's going to show light. So it's more like you are toggling it. That's why it's called toggle team. So that we are returning team context. This team context here, we are returning it to the provider This provider is more like if a property, you get, more like a property that comes with team context. You get, it has to be there. You get, then the value that we want to make available to other components to use. Remember, we are exporting this instead of us passing it as prop. Instead of us, that's why I'm using this context. We're just going to reduce passing these props inside there. Now instead of us coming here and doing oh yeah, you can say something, you can talk. It's a
So it is research. Let me whether after the class we can get resources.
huh?
I said I don't know after the class whether we can get resources.
Yeah, of course, it will make that available for you guys. Yeah, it will be. My boss.
Yeah. Okay, contribution.
Yeah, we'll make that available for you. Don't worry about that.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
now I didn't check the issue here.
yeah, we'll make that available. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah. So as I was saying, we are passing in the value we want to make available to other. We are passing the props we want to make available to other components. And these children is more like the prop, but now we are passing it as children because we want to update the value to our to how we want it. Now let me show you an example. I don't know if there's a better way to explain this, but I'm going to share a resource in case you don't fully understand. You can go through that. So then we have the teamed button function. And again, we are not creating a use state here. We are bringing in this value here. Remember, we are making this available to the public. We are making these props available to the public. And we are going to use context for that to bring it into our components, our function. So as we are bringing in it, we are going to destructure it, which is const curly braces team comma toggle team, which is equal to the use state. Use concept context is more like yeah, somebody has yeah, Ebube, you can say something. Ebube, you raise your hand.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Martins. Now the time is 9 to 12, so please be rounding up 9 to 12.
Yeah, sorry about that. No, we have I know this kind of all you know what? Let me just round up, then we'll continue with the remaining next class. Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Yeah, so let me just sorry before you close the call, before you end it. So we brought it using the use context and we are returning now. We are trying to style it now. We are saying style background color. If the theme is equal to light, show white. If it else, show red. That is what we are just doing here. That is by default. If it is light, show dark. Show light, sorry. Else show red. You get. Now this on click is the one we pack in here. Remember, this toggle theme is this updating for updating code we wrote. You get. Then we did on click toggle theme. When you click it, I want it to toggle. You get. Then in the app, remember, we have to wrap in this team provider. This one here, the team provider. We have to wrap it here. If you don't add this provider here, this team context the provider here, you can still come here and do team provider dot provider. It will still work. If you do dot provider now, it will still work. Okay. So make sure you wrap in this team button inside the team provider so that when it updates, it's going to update everything inside, not outside. You get. So that is how it was. That's where we are going for today. So in our next class, we are going to talk about. In fact, I'll give you guys as assignments. Yeah. The assignments will be go and learn more on useWef and create an example with it. Then the same thing with use reducer. Then use memo is the later stuff. Is the advanced hook. Yeah, they are the advanced hook. So, but for now, just learn the use ref and use reducer, then you are good. So, does anybody have questions before we end the call? Hello? Hello? Does anybody have a question? All right, all right, all right. It's like you guys understand what I'm trying to say today. So, thank you guys. Thank you guys. Hope you enjoyed the class. See you this week on Tuesday. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So it will be
Okay, no
dropping the
problem.
resource for everybody.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
I'll do that on the Discord word resource channel. You guys check out for it. And secondly, thank you,
Yeah.
Mr. Martin. So really it was a executive session. Thank you once again. So guys, the assignment
Yeah.
also will drop on the Discord channel. So watch out. So watch out for it. And let's enjoy the rest of our day. Bye for now.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.